All right, I am recording again, so let me share here. All right. So I am starting up a new session here of Visual Studio. So I'm going to create a new project, Windows Forms app, and I'm going to call this one Sports Logos. And I created a brand new folder to put this in called Superheroes and Logos. So I'm going to put it in there. And the solution name will be the same thing. So Superheroes and Logos. How about this? Just Superhero Logo. So it's got a little different name. There we go. Create. I want to see if it's going to let me bring in the superhero project into this. So you have that. So add existing project. All right, I hope that's in there. We'll find out in just a bit. So looks like it is. That's good. All right, let me close that. We're going to start up the other one. Now this is, I'm not going to have to do any changes with size or anything on here. So I'm going to click on here. And as always, I'm going to change the name to FRM Logos. Yes, I want to change everything. I'm going to change this to Sport Logo App, as far as the text on there. All right. And we'll change the color. And it's got a simple interface. It's going to have two labels on top. And then two combo boxes below each label, one below each label. A checkbox below this combo box. Two buttons and a picture box. So from some of the stuff we've been doing lately, it's got a fairly simplistic interface. It's pretty good to me. All right, it's gonna come down a little. It's a little too. That's not bad. Let's move this down a bit. There. All right, good enough. All right. So this first one is going to say city name, so it'll be LBL city name. This next one will be team name. So it'll be LBL team name. All right, I'm gonna make sure those two are centered. All right, these are our two combo boxes. So this will be CBO city name. And again, I will come down and for the type, I will set it to drop down list. All right, and this one will be CBO team name. And in the same way, I'm going to set that one to the drop down style to drop down list. All right, so those are done. This picture box is simply going to be called PB logo. All right, the checkbox is going to be called CHK show statistics. And that show statistics is the text that's going to be there. All right. And the buttons are going to be clear and exit. Boy, oh boy. All right, let's double check and make sure I've renamed everything. I think I have. Yep. Okay. And then let's, we're going to want to do some stuff when we have a check changed here. All right. We're going to want to do some stuff when we load, and we're going to want to do clear and exit. So let's bring in our load. Then we'll bring in this check changed or selected index changed. Then we'll bring in clear, and then we'll bring in exit. All right, I'm not going to put any code in there for a second, but I want to go back to here and I want to fill up. I'm going to make about 4 different arrays here. All right, so the first one, no, I'm going to make more than that. Let's just write these. Okay, so view code. All right, and let's come in here and let's make our arrays. All right, first one is going to be called cities. Let's put that down. And it'll have select a city. And it'll have in there Atlanta. And then Los Angeles. And I did change the picture. So those of you who are still holding a lot of ill will towards the Rams, it's now the Chargers and Philadelphia. All right. That's our first array. So that's going to be these cities. These 4 things are going to be used to fill up this text box right here. Okay. All right. Then next, we're going to have these. We're going to have, oops. I call this one Atlanta teams. And they are the Braves, the Hawks, and the Falcons. All right. Next, I put in the Philadelphia team, no, the Los Angeles teams. And I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I made those all lowercase. I think that is better anyway. All right. And that is equal to the Dodgers, the Lakers, and the Chargers. All right. Then finally, I had the Philadelphia teams. And they are equal to the Phillies, the 76ers, and the Eagles. All right. Then I needed three more because I needed arrays to hold all the logos. Now, I want to show you this. What I'm about to show you is not at all complicated. And what I'm about to show you, I did not have to do, but I tried to make it easier for you to understand everything that was going on. And if you say, I don't understand what you're saying, let me show you. I came in here to Sport Logos and I added a new folder. I call the folder images. Now I could have images. Now I could have gone in and put all 9 images right in there. I didn't do it like that. I created 3 folders underneath there. A folder called Atlanta Logos, a folder called Los Angeles Logos, and a folder called Philadelphia Logos. All right, because I tried to bring a little bit of order to this. So if I ever wanted to add to this, all right, I could add more teams if I wanted to. So I came in here and put in another folder, and I call this MLB, Major League Baseball. Then under images, yet another folder that was called NBA for National Basketball Association. And again, under images, another folder that was called NFL for National Football League. Then I went and added these images. I will give you the images. So under MLB, right mouse click, choose add existing image. And I've got to find them, but that's not a problem. So here's the baseball ones. All right. So there's the 3 baseball ones. They're now under MLB. Then I went over to basketball and did the same thing, but make sure you add the ones, existing items that are under NBA. Yeah, that was next. And then finally, the same thing under NFL. And this Rams one is now gone. All right, so I now have all of my images. All right. And I need to go and add 3 more arrays up here. One that's called the Atlanta logos, one that's called Los Angeles logos, one that's called Philadelphia logos. So I'm just going to add them and not put anything in them yet. All right, now let's bring in the first ones. Let's see, I don't know when I did there. Oh, bracket. There we go. All right, so for the first one, don't think it'll let me do this. I know that I used to be able to do something like this. Just grab this and drag it in and let go. See, it doesn't like that anymore though. So let me copy the full path and put it here. All right, don't worry, it'll be all fixed in a minute. Again, I have to put it in double quotes with a comma on the end. And I need that @ sign. There we go. All right, now I can bring in the other ones. So let me move this over. Let me move this over. Just want you to be able to see what I'm doing here. All right, so there was the Braves. All right, now remember, I'm grabbing them out of 3 different folders. So this is the MLB for the Braves. It might be fastest for me to just copy this. All right, so the first one is MLB Braves. The second one will be NBA, and it's Hawks. And the third one is NFL. Oops, NFL, and it's Falcons. Now, I'm going to take these 3 lines and copy them to the other 2, but then I'm just going to change the names. All right, so for Los Angeles, this will be Dodgers. This will be Lakers. And this will be Chargers. And for Philadelphia, this one will be Phillies. This one will be 76ers. This one will be Eagles. Now, the only thing I do want to change, don't put a comma after the last one. All right, so what I've done in here thus far is I've come in, I have built the interface. All right, I built the interface, as you saw, 2 drop downs, 2 labels for headings for the drop downs. Thing here that I just put show statistics. All right, a picture box and 2 buttons. All right, so let's just get this stuff out of the way first. What do we want to do here? When we click clear, we want this to clear, so we want there to be nothing in there. We want there to be nothing in here. And this one, we want it to say select the city. All right, so we'll call our clear all. All right, so our first combo box, city names dot selected index. We want that to be set equal to 0. All right, so that should make sure that there's that the city name that's in there is select the city. The CBO team name dot selected index, we want that to be -1. We want there to be nothing in there. And our picture box, we don't want there to be anything on there. Dot image, we're going to set that equal to null. I think that's everything. All right. And I don't know, let's see if we run it. I don't know what's happening, if anything, in here. Clear. 0 not valid for selected index. Oh, because we didn't set it up yet. Let's set that up right now in our form load. Okay, that was stupid of me not to, but that's okay. All right. So in this form load, the only one we want to fill up is the cities. So 4. In fact, I've been doing it like this. For int LCV equals 0, LCV less than cities dot length, LCV plus plus. And that's totally fine to do that. All right. So I can do that and then come in here and say CBO city name dot items dot add. And I can do it just like this, cities LCV. Totally fine. No problem with that. All right. But I want to show you a little bit of a shortcut for doing that. So I'm going to comment, let me copy this, and I'm going to comment all of this out. And then I'm going to paste it back in below it. Why? So I can use a for each instead of a for loop. And now I can say add city. Now, when you look at these, it's not really like this saved me a whole boatload in here when you look at it. All right. I'm trying to figure out what the problem is there. So that should be CBO city name dot items dot add just city, no brackets. That's what's wrong. All right. They both do the exact same thing, but I wanted you to at least see both of them so you can decide which one makes more sense to you. All right. I'm prone to use this one because virtually every programming language offers a for loop. Most programming languages are now adding the equivalent here of a for each. All right. All right. Then I want to say two more things. Let's see. Oops. I'm going to say CBO city name dot selected index is going to be 0, so it'll say select the team. Let's see when I did this. Select the city. Okay, this may or may not work, but that's okay. If it doesn't, we'll figure it out right away. All right. So let's see. Let me stop the run here, start the run again, see if it's filling it up. Select a city. All right, Atlanta. Those that we haven't done yet. So we've got Atlanta, Los Angeles. That's okay. All right, all that's working. Good. That's a start. All right. So now we've got to put in our stuff for our selected index changed event. All right. Okay. And how are we going to do that? Well, it's what team names do we want to fill in? What team names do we want to fill in here? All right. Now, when I did this, I put this select a city, right? I want to see if in the copy that I did, if I did it that way or I didn't do it that way. I did do it that way. Right. That's fine. All right. So when we come in here now, this is going to be whenever we click on this drop-down list. So when we have in here, select the city, we want there to be nothing in here. When we have Atlanta selected, then we want this to be able to show us the Braves, the Hawks, and the Falcons, etc. So we want to be able to do all that stuff. All right, let's see if we can do that. All right. So I'm going to call add correct logos or current city. Again, I'm trying to make this as self-descriptive as possible. All right. I'm going to set the selected index like I've been doing, int SI for selected index equal CBO city name dot selected index. All right. Now I'm going to get errors when I do this because I'm going to be calling routines I have yet to write. So I'm going to do a switch on SI. Case 0. Now, if it's 0, if it is a 0, all right, then what I want to do is basically just set up my headings and not put anything in there if it's 0. All right, so I'm going to call a routine that I haven't written yet that's called set headers. All right, and then I'm going to break. All right, for case 1, that's the Braves. So this is select a city. This case 1, this is city equal Atlanta. All right, so if that's the case, I will again want to call set headers. Then I want to call fill Atlanta teams. Atlanta teams. And break. All right. Then if it's a 2, what that means is city equals Los Angeles. So again, I'm going to call set headers. Let me just put a set headers in here because then all these errors will go away. So private void set headers, then all of those errors are going to go away. And I'm going to comment these out just for a second. So set headers, and then I want to say fill Los Angeles teams and break. Again, I'm going to comment this out. Then we'll have case 3. And again, that will be city equals Philadelphia. And we will fill Philadelphia teams. All right. And then finally, if it's a default, as again, because it's just good practice, we'll just break. All right. So now we got to write this fill headers things, or set headers rather. All right. And it's unbelievably easy. We're just going to say CBO team name dot items dot clear. We want to clear out that list box. All right. And now we've got to write our fill Philadelphia teams, fill Los Angeles teams, and fill Atlanta teams. Let's write them in that order. So let's uncomment this, which will give us an error here, but we'll fix it in a second. So we'll have our private here. Private void fill Atlanta teams. Let me just put all the rest of them in there. Oops. So we'll have fill Atlanta teams, fill Los Angeles teams, and fill Philadelphia teams. All right, now I can uncomment these, and I should not get any errors. Good. All I did here, fill Philadelphia teams. There. All right, so let's fill these. All right. Okay, there's the first one. Make that a capital A. Yes, I did. And that'll be an L. And finally, for Philadelphia. Oh, that one actually is right. This one should have been A for Atlanta. And that should be an A. All right. Just about finished, believe it or not. I thought it would be right around 12:30. All right. So what do we have here? Let's see. We've got our selected index changed. Okay, if it's a -1, we want to set our headers and break. Let's see. That's all correct. I want to come to the other one here. All right, let me move this. All right. And we're going to do another switch, but now we're going to be switching. We're again going to be switching on the city name. All right, the city name selected index. So again, all right. I know I'm probably making this a hell of a lot more complicated than it really is. All right, believe it or not, after this exit thing that we always do, we're done. All right. Let me grab the exit from one of the other ones, and then we're going to go over everything. And I'll go through it nice and slow, or at least try to do it nice and slow. First, let me run it, just see if it does work. If it doesn't, we'll have to go debug it. So select a city, and there should be nothing in here. There isn't. Now, when I select Atlanta, Braves, Hawks, and Falcons, Braves, Hawks, Falcons. Okay, that worked. Los Angeles, Dodgers, Lakers, Chargers. Okay, that worked. Philadelphia, Phillies, 76ers, Eagles. That worked. All right. Clear works. Exit works. So the only little bit that we have left is that check change, which is only a couple lines of code. All right. So let's put that in. Then we're going to go back and look at everything that's in here. All right, let me move this up. All right. So for the check changed, if CHK show statistics dot checked, that means if indeed it is checked, what do we want to do? Well, I didn't even make a show message because this is the only message box that's in here. So I said message box dot show the city chosen was over a little bit. The team chosen was and then just city name and team name selected. Message box buttons okay, message box information. All right, let's double check and make sure everything works. Then we'll take a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes or so, and go over everything. Sorry, I'm letting you out a little later than I said, but all right, so city, Atlanta, Hawks, show statistics. The city chosen was Atlanta, the team name was Hawks. Good. All right, one thing I guess I didn't do on here, let's come in, we did set, or didn't we? There was no accept button, the cancel button, I'll set to clear. The start text, or start position rather, I will set to center screen. I will quickly set the tab order, and I'm going to set it to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe that isn't exactly correct, but that's the way I'm going to do it. So view tab order, Let me run it one more time then. Get rid of this. Sorry about that if I lost you for a second. All right, hit the wrong button. My fault. So run this. Everything does appear to be working. So let's take a second and go back and look at the entire program. You will get this program. All right. And I'll have to go back into the other one, the superheroes, and reset a few things. When I copied it over, some of the settings don't copy over, but I'll get all that to you in just a bit. So let's look at this. This is similar to the test you will take tomorrow morning. When you take the test tomorrow morning, this will be the first time you will be asked to create a splash screen. What that means is you will have two forms on your test. The first form, call it whatever you want. I called mine FRM Splash. Will just be a small little screen with a picture on it. I should mention when you are setting up pictures and you're in the picture box here, there is a setting in here. There's a size mode setting. Now it's set to normal, but I'm going to set it just so you see it to stretch image. All right. And now I'm going to run the program. And then what it should do is it should take up as much room in here as it can. Now that's a little funky. This probably should be a little wider, but that's okay. All right. But now it's stretching and it's taking up basically the entire area that's in here. I kind of like that. Some of them might end up looking a little bit skewed, but I think that's pretty good. All right. So taking it from the top then, when you take your test tomorrow, you will write a splash screen that will have an image on it. That may make no sense right now, but it'll make sense tomorrow. So that, in other words, let's assume I wanted to have that for this particular project. I wanted a splash screen, but I don't have one right now. So I'm going to make one just so you see what I mean. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to create a new form. So new item, I can either choose form here or go to new item form. I'll just go here. And I'm going to call this, I'll call it what it is, splash screen dot CS. There's my new one. All right. Now I'm going to find a logo. So I'm going to say here, sports team logos. All right. See if I can find something. Be nice if I could grab all three of these. I probably can, but I'm just wondering if they have them for a bunch of different, let's see, there's football, there's baseball. See, what I want is a mixture, kind of like this. Best logos in 4 sports teams. I'll use that one, it'll work. So I'm going to save this image as, and I'm going to actually just put it on my desktop. And I'm just going to call it logos.jpg. Then I'm going to bring it into my project here. So I'm going to right mouse click on images, choose add existing item, go to my desktop. Oh, that's where I put it, didn't I? Oh, images, yeah, GIF, etc. No, I don't know where I put it, so I got to do it again. All righty. No, Jeff, no. Where is it? That's fine. Wanted to see if there was a better one than the one I chose, but I'll just grab this one. This one looks good. So right mouse click, save image as. There it is, logos.jpg, but I didn't put it under the right spot. So I'm just going to put it under my desktop and call it logos.jpg. All right, now I want to bring it into my program. So you already saw that I came in here and I've got this images folder, right mouse click, add existing item, going to my desktop. There's logo. There it is. All right, I'm going to put a picture box in here. I'm going to make this smaller. I don't know how big the thing is going to be. So I'm going to make a picture box in here. I'm not worrying about changing the color, the background, or anything. And that's because I want this picture box to basically take up just about the entire area there. There we go. All right. And then for the image, I'm going to set the image right here. All right. And it's a local resource. I want to import in my project. You don't have to do all this stuff, so don't worry about it. So let's see. Okay, so there that is. And for the mode, I want to say stretch image there. So that's going to now be, that's now going to be my splash screen. But to make it my splash screen, I've got to go over to program.cs and change my start file from FRM logos to FRM splash screen. All right. What doesn't it like? FRM. Oh, I just called it splash screen. All right, so let's rename it FRM splash screen. There we go. Now, when I run this, I get that. There's my beginning thing. Now I've got two choices. I can either add a button in here to make it go to the other screen, or I can add a timer. All right, I'm going to show you that right now if I can remember how to do it. All right. And let's see. First, let's come back to this splash screen. And I want to tell it to be in the middle. So again, I'm going to say for my start position for the form, not for the picture box, but for the form, I want the start position to be center screen. Now when I run it, it should come up in the middle. There it is. Okay, that's good. All right. Now I've got to come in here and find a timer. You don't have to do any of this, but I'm giving you the code if you want to try it. All right, so there's the timer. right, so let's see. Can I put it right in the load event? I would think so. Okay. And believe it or not, I should be done in a matter of minutes. So timer, interval. I don't want this. I want it to be 5 seconds. All right, and then when that finishes, I want it to do this dot hide FRM logos let's just call it logo equal new FRM logos, logo dot show dialog. Well, let's see. I did doing this all off the top of my head. I didn't do anything like this. So let's see. Yeah, I've got. There we go. So let's see. Run the program. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Thumbs up. Cool. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. You don't have to do that. When you create your splash screen tomorrow, you can just have an image on it and buttons. You can have a button that says go to other form, or you can do a timer like I just did. In fact, I'm even going to put in here just so you can see it. That's interesting. Let's see. Oh, that's not good. Yes. All right, that timer is wreaking havoc with things. All right, we'll fix it though. I'm not worried about it. So when you do this tomorrow, you will have a splash screen. That splash screen will have a picture on it. The picture is what the program is all about. All right, you will pick out your own picture and you will do either a timer like I have right here. All right, wonder if I can say in here. I don't know if that'll work or not. No, it's not stopping. Okay, I'll figure it out because I did it in another program. All right, but you will have a splash screen and either you will use a timer after I get mine fixed, or you will have a picture box on it or a picture box on it with a button or buttons where you can toggle back and forth between your screens. All right. And the key thing in here is the other one is the one that we've been working on. You will have on yours 2 drop downs. And based on what you choose in this drop down, it'll change what you have in here. All right. And you will be able to figure out, I don't want to tell you too much because you might be able to figure it out, and that's kind of cheating, but there is some work you're going to have to do to figure out some costs and stuff like that. The interface is not that much different than this is. All right, you may disagree with that when you see the test tomorrow, but it really isn't that different. All right, so let's quickly go over this file here. So what I did, again, was I created a boatload of arrays. This is an array that held this holds the values in the CBO city name dropdown. Right there. Or combo box, I guess. All right. This holds the value, as you'd guess, of the CBO. I shouldn't even say that, of the Atlanta teams. All right. This holds the ones for the Los Angeles teams. And this holds the one for the Philadelphia teams. All right. Then this holds the logos for the Atlanta teams. This holds the logos for the Los Angeles teams. And this holds the logos for the Philadelphia teams. All right. In the load event, I showed you two ways, but this just fills up the three cities. So this fills up the three cities that are in here. All right. And it sets the one that's showing to the one that says select a city. All right. Then every time we click the combo box in the first city, every time we click it, we call add correct logos for current city. And that's going to figure out, so that's the set headers is just clearing out what was in there. It's either going to fill in the three Atlanta teams, or it's going to fill in the three Los Angeles teams, or it's going to fill in the three Philadelphia teams. And it's doing it based off of which city we chose. So set headers just clears. So that will clear the team name combo box. I don't know. I mean, this is called Fill Atlanta teams, and that's what it's doing. Fill Los Angeles teams, and that's what it's doing. Fill Philadelphia teams, and that's what that's doing. If I am not clear enough, somebody'd have to tell me, but this is probably the hardest one. So I know if I'm right here, if it's case one, all right, I have to go and fill up. This says go and fill up either the first one in the Atlanta or the second one in the Atlanta. That's these. So that says if it's 0, put the Braves one in there. If it's a 1, put the Hawks one. If it's a 2, put the Falcons. Same kind of thing for the Los Angeles and the Philadelphia. All right. So that's exactly what's going on here. This is harder, in my opinion, than what you have to do for your test. So my hope is if I give you this, and hey, whether you think what I'm doing with you is fair or unfair, that's of course your right, your opinion. But from 8:15 tomorrow until 12 midnight, that is what? 15 hours and 45 minutes. If I were you, I would have this program and or the other program that we did with the superheroes on it, have all of them up. You can have more than one Visual Studio running at a time and look at this for some hints. All right. With that, I hope that's going to help you. Okay. And I will make sure, just so you see this, So this was called superhero logo. I'm going to do a git bash here. I'm going to do a git init. All right. And then I'm going to go back into the other project. So let me do a file save all here, close all of these. I will fix this timer. I'll either fix it or I'll just get rid of it if I can't fix it, but I should be able to. All right. And I'm going to open up the superhero and double check on here. I think the names come over when you do this. Yeah, but I don't think I didn't have any accept button in here. And the cancel button, I just said would be clear. I think I lost that. No, that's still in here. And do I have the tab orders set? Zero, 1, 2. Yes, it is set. So view tab order. So I will fix, now I can close this one. I will fix that timer issue. And once that is fixed, I will put this out there and it will be under a GitHub repository. And that GitHub repository will be named Superheroes and Logos. All right. I hope to have that out there by no later than 2 o'clock. You will get the invite to the private repo for the ones I did earlier for you. You'll get that very shortly. All right. Okay. I'll see you again at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. As always, if you have questions, please email me with those questions. Have a great day. Thanks. I'll be right back.